The time is 7:30. This is WVCA in Gloucester, Massachusetts. Time for Faye Pett interviews with Exploring the Community.
Good evening and welcome once more to this program when together we explore the community. It's my pleasure this evening to have two very interesting gentlemen who have recently established themselves on the Cape in businesses. And I would like two different businesses, by the way, and I should like you to meet them. Arthur Emerson Whitney, would you greet our audience?
Good evening, and Mrs. Pett, it's a very fine pleasure to be here with you.
Very happy to have you, Mr. Whitney. And Ralph Emerson.
Oh, you fooled me, Mrs. Pett. Good evening. I thought you were going to say, will the real Ralph Waldo Emerson please stand up? It's a pleasure to be here, Mrs. Pett.
Thank you very, very much. May I tell our listeners that you do stem from the real Ralph Waldo Emerson.
That's right, Mrs. Pett.
And perhaps this is a good time to let them in on how you come by the name. I mean, how far removed from Ralph Waldo Emerson?
Well, actually, the name Ralph Waldo came down through his brother's side of the family, which is my side of the family. His own descendants didn't carry the name Ralph Waldo. It was his nephew and grandnephews, and in my case, his great-grandnephew.
And that was not in Massachusetts, was it?
Well, my family are originally Massachusetts people, but during the Civil War, my great-grandfather went up to northern Maine. He was married to
That's what I had in mind.
I see.
Yeah.
Great-granddad was married to a southern lady of quite a fine family. And his sympathies were not entirely with the North, being married to a southerner, nor could he think of going down to the South and fighting on the southern side. So he was a draft dodger and went up to northern Maine, which at that time was unorganized territory, even though part of the United States. And so he thought he was doing good.
You mean he'd have no commitment to the service?
No commitments. You
I
see, he
living
was not,
there.
That's right. He was not subject to the draft as it existed during the Civil War. I suppose he had his New England conscience, because he wouldn't buy his way out of the service, as it could be done during the Civil War. As you know, you could hire a replacement. But
Seems to me I recall that, yes.
That's right, but great-granddad didn't feel that way. He felt that this was a simple way to solve the whole solution. He was not an abolitionist like Ralph Waldo, the author, but yet he did feel quite strongly that he wouldn't hire someone to go and do his share of the battle for him. So he thought he
removed himself.
That's right. And so he went up to northern Maine, unorganized country, and he thought that he was doing good by going up there. Well, believe me, he did very well indeed, because he
We'll come back to that, yes. We'll come back to
fine.
that. I just want to be sure that you don't fail to give us every little detail about that how well he did when he got to Maine. But we're going to go back now to Arthur Emerson Whitney, who is your cousin. Is that right, Mr. Whitney?
Yes, we're
Well,
cousins.
your cousins. And you now own what is known as the Whit's End shop
That's right, on Rocky Neck.
on Rocky Neck. Tell us when you came to buy that and how it all happened.
Well, I've always been in love with Cape Ann, and I was decided that I would like to own my own business, and I met Mr. Peter Anastas, who owned Peter's, and I ultimately bought it, and it was in September of 1964.
Thank you very, very much. Now, preceding that, you were in the retail business somewhere.
Yes, during my college days, after World War II,
By the way, both of you were in World War II,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
Mhm.
I was a bomber pilot in Italy for a year. And then when I went back to college, I worked during the summers at a department store in Somerville, which was owned by the Park Snow Corporation. And I was with that company for 17 years. And at one time, I managed a store which I imagine you might have even shopped in or do shop in, which is in Salem, the William G. Weber Company.
Oh, yes.
I managed that for a while. Then
Specialty shop.
Yes. And then the Jewel Tea Corporation in Chicago asked if I would like to join them and manage a discount store they own in Medford called Turnstile. I did so and ultimately wound up in the Brighton store, which is their largest, and I worked there for a year, excuse me, all this time commuting back and forth from Cape Ann.
You mean that was between 46 and 60?
It's 65.
I see.
64.
64, September
That's right.
64 wasn't it when you bought the...
That's right, September. So most chaps who are in the retail business would like to own their own store. And I suddenly got the urge and was able to make arrangements. And I bought Peter's, renamed it Whit's End.
Now we're going to come back to that. Let us sort of break in at this point. You bought Peter's. That's that coffee shop.
It's a luncheonette.
Luncheonette
That's
shop,
right.
that's right. And you didn't choose to leave it as Peter's. You renamed it Whit's End. And we're going to have you tell us how it all happened a little later. In the meantime, I'm going to go back to your cousin, Ralph Emerson, who owns the Good Harbor Beach Inn. Is that right, Mr.
That is
Emerson?
true, Mrs. Pat.
Now, actually, before we get to talking about the Good Harbor Beach Inn, I would like very much to go on with that interesting story about Granddad.
Great-granddad
yeah,
in Northern
great-granddad in Northern Maine, who made such a success of settling there.
Well, as I said, he resolved this problem of the Civil War and his draft duty and so forth by going to Northern Maine. And he went to Northern Maine. He thought he was doing good to go to Northern Maine. Well, he did very well indeed because he bought a large portion of the northern part of the state. Now, bear in mind, this was unorganized territory.
At that time, that was unorganized.
That's right, that's right. Divided into townships which were not settled. It was virgin timber. Now, part of this timberland he did pay 25 cents an acre for, but quite a lot of it averaged between 8 and 10 cents an acre. So he went north to do good, and he did very well indeed. We descendants bless him.
Well, I should think so. I should think so.
Excuse me.
And of course, there are many, many of them. And perhaps you can give us a little glimpse into what some of the descendants are doing or where they're scattered.
Well, we're still a New England family. My brother is still in Northern Maine, and he's director of admissions for Ricker College in Holton, Maine. Now, we do have Gloucester students who have attended Ricker, and I know my brother was down here last fall interviewing some of the seniors. Now, perhaps some of the members of this graduating class will be attending Ricker College. Now, that is one descendant.
And Ricker College is where?
That's in Holton, Maine, way up in Aroostook County. Now, you see, Aroostook County is the potato empire. Great-granddad and his compatriots harvested the virgin timber, and what timberlands are there now are mostly under lease to the large paper companies, Great Northern, St. Regis, the Dead River Company. So the timber mills no longer operate, but the timberlands are still under lease to these paper companies.
I see.
But I had, do you want me to continue on
Well,
a bit about
yeah, you tell us as much as you'd like. We still have some time, yes.
Well, I had planned to be a doctor. The family had a variety of interests, which embraced the ministry, politics. I had one uncle who was in the Senate, and I mentioned the uncle who was the minister in Annisquam, Morris Robinson.
Yes,
That was
I
how
remember
I
that.
first...
This is what I wanted to come. That was back in 1940, wasn't it?
1940.
Yes.
He came to the village church in Annisquam.
That was it. Now, you came just about that time.
I
for
would
the
come
first
down
time?
summers and visit with them. And that was about my first
Real contact.
real contact with Cape Ann,
I
1940.
see. That was some 25 years ago.
25 years ago.
And you fell in love with the Cape.
Absolutely.
I don't blame you, of
Absolutely.
course. I don't blame you.
Of course, I'm violently prejudiced, but
Yes. Well,
Beautiful section of the
Well,
country.
it's quite obvious that you have fallen in love with it because you managed to settle for good here.
That's true.
And we're going to find out where you settled for good in a few minutes. But in the meantime, I want to find out from Mr. Whitney how he came to rename Whit's End, Peter's Whit's End.
Well, it became, I wanted to put my own name on it, and I decided that for two reasons. One is that it was the end of the search as far as I was concerned as to what I would like to have for the rest of my life or enjoy, and also it was the end of the causeway. So as you drive off of East Main Street and drive across the causeway, you meet the store itself at the triangle. And that's how that name came about.
Well, isn't that interesting? Now, I know for a fact that there was a little story that you came upon subsequently. Didn't somebody soon after you renamed your shop that sort of get a wrong impression of what the name stands for?
Well, yes, it seems that the last summer there was an artist who was looking for a gallery, and she was staying at the home of one of my customers. And when the customer related this story to me, that when this artist came back, said that she had found a place and she was going to name it the Whit's End Art Gallery.
Whit's End Art Gallery. Yes.
And the customer said, well, have you checked with Mr. Whitney? Because I think he owns that name. And she said, well, I thought all of that area was called Whit's End.
Yes. Which shows you how appropriately
that's right.
you really named your little shop.
And I
well, we
said,
congratulate
no,
you.
It's Rocky Neck, and I just have one corner of it.
And that corner is known as Whit's End. Well, thank you very, very much. I'm sure that our listeners who perhaps have been into coffee at the Whit's End never knew how it all came about, and now may even enjoy going back and chatting about it, over another cup of coffee. Mr. Emerson, you came to settle because, for good on Cape Ann after coming here for some 25 years on and off. And you're settled where?
Well, in 1953, my cousin and I bought a summer home over on Riverview. And
you mean Mr. Whitney here?
Mr. Whitney and I bought a summer home over there together and spent many happy summers and became even more interested in living the year round on Cape Ann.
And that was when Mr. Whitney kept commuting back and
Yes,
forth to
right.
Weber's and elsewhere, etc.,
Yes.
right?
Well,
And where were you at this point?
I was commuting the same time at that. For 16 years, I was associated with the New York Stock Exchange. I was a broker with a member firm in Boston, and we would open the summer house by the 19th of April. Now, Bud, my cousin, is from Lexington, and of course
Boy, there's the patriotism
And
again, and the
have-
love of
that's
country,
right.
boy.
And I have conquered precedence, so of course the 19th of April to us is a
Meaningful date.
meaningful date. So we always opened the summer home on April 19th and would stay, as we always said, until they shut the water off, and we had to move back into Boston. But I think we both look forward to living here all year round. And after Bud bought Peter's and it became Whit's End, I still continued the commuting bit into Boston for another year. And then I decided that if Bud was so happy with his business, that I would do the same thing. I'd had 16 years in the stock market. The market was good to me. It was an enjoyable life, but I look forward to a business here on Cape Ann.
By the way,
Yes.
you began to tell us that you were interested in medicine at one time. Isn't that right?
That's right, Mrs. Pitt.
I don't know whether we got that across this evening or at some point in my conversation with you, but may I have you tell our listeners how you switched from medicine to business and where you trained?
Well, I had taken my pre-medical training at the University of Maine, and then, as you asked, we were both in the service. Bud was a bomber pilot. I was a very bad naval ensign indeed.
Yeah.
I don't think that I contributed very much, but I was disabled during World War II in the Navy,
Disabled. Mm-hmm.
and was unable to continue on in my medical training.
I see.
So I simply switched one career for
And you
for
went
the
on to
other.
Harvard Business
Went on to
School.
the Harvard Business School, and then I entered the stock exchange business.
And after a while decided that you were going to settle and invest the money that you made right here on the Cape. Is
Well,
that
I
right?
became so enthusiastic about it, being a year-round resident after Bud showed how pleasant it was with Whit's End. And so it was a year ago, just about a year ago now, that I thought, well, now I want to buy my own business too. And started looking around, and of course, immediately fell in love with the Good Harbor Beach Inn and Good Harbor Beach itself.
Yes. I can't blame you. I think it's probably the most beautiful beach, perhaps in New England. I don't
Well, it
know.
certainly is the most beautiful one north of Boston.
And,
Of course, there again, I'm violently prejudiced
Yes.
about it.
Yeah, and especially now that you have proof in that you purchased the Good Harbor Beach Inn and actually own part of the beach, don't you? I mean,
Yes,
isn't the beach part of your
yes.
property?
I have my own private beach in front of the inn,
Yes.
which is a great asset because many of my visitors are from inland Canada and our own Midwest. And when they come to the seacoast, they want to be able to step directly onto the sand.
Yes, and they have that privilege and opportunity
Absolutely.
when they park at the Good Harbor Beach Inn. Well, that's very, very exciting, and I can see by just looking at you that you're thrilled to be able to serve them in just that way. Talking about Good Harbor Beach Inn and Good Harbor Beach, could I be so brazen as to ask for your impression of the beach as a whole since you have purchased the inn?
Well, you may, Mrs. Pett, because I feel quite strongly about this. We on Cape Ann have a God-given heritage in our natural beauty spots. Our marshlands, our outcroppings of rock, our oceans, and especially our lovely beaches here on Cape Ann. Now, the city very carefully provides waste barrels along Good Harbor Beach. I think that it would help our reputation tremendously if we residents were very careful when we use Good Harbor Beach or any of our other public facilities.
Any other beaches?
Any other beaches or picnic grounds, if we would only remember to use the barrels that are provided for our picnic waste. The city very carefully.
I thank you very much for being willing to say this, because I remember in talking to you that was one of your pet, not peeves, but pet interests, pet hopes, that you were going to be able to promote a little bit of interest in keeping Good Harbor Beach good and beautiful. Is that right?
Well, absolutely, because the natural beauty is there. Let's not spoil that beauty.
Very good.
Cooperate
Very good.
with nature.
Well, thank you very, very much. Now, I'm so excited because I just feel as though both Rocky Neck and Good Harbor, that is the Bass Rock end of Gloucester at Good Harbor Beach, is much the richer for your coming here. And I'm wondering, for example, what besides your immediate business is and the beauty of the Cape interests you. Mr. Whitney, it seems to me in my digging about you, I found that you were already a Rotarian. Is that
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And you are too, Mr.
Yes,
Emerson.
we're both
Yes,
Rotarians.
both Rotarians.
Enjoy it thoroughly.
That speaks well for you. And what else interests you on the Cape?
Well, I'm also interested in the Cape Ann Symphony, and
I am too. See, I'm not very good at being interested in the Rotarians because it just won't do me any good. Well,
Well, I was asked if I would like to join, and I eagerly accepted the opportunity of becoming a trustee on the Cape Ann Symphony. And my interest right now is on a promotion that we're running, which, if I may speak of it a moment.
oh, please do.
And that's the coloring book that is being sold throughout the Cape. That
What a
for
creative-
$1. And there was a lot of hard work put in to making up the book, and it has one feature that no other coloring book has, and that is the price of the book includes the crayons.
All things in one package.
There's nothing worse than having a rainy day and kids around the house and wondering what to do with them, and they find a coloring book but they can't find the crayons. Well, they go hand in hand, and there are stores here in the community and also in Rockport that have it on sale.
And the motels.
and the motels.
Believe me, Bud, with this cloudy weather today, the Cape Ann Symphony coloring book was a lifesaver in the lobby of the Good Harbor Beach Inn.
Another shipment tomorrow.
Well, that shows you what a dedicated member, a trustee we have of the Cape Ann Symphony. And you're involved in the publicity then, too, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes. Well, it's really very wonderful to find you so actively involved already in these civic things outside of your business. And I know you too, Mr. Emerson, have probably hopes. What are some of your hopes or dreams?
Well, I think that Bud and I both believe in being active in civic affairs. Now, I can't conceive of a man who is in business in Gloucester not being a member of the Chamber of Commerce. It is
Very good.
It is amazing how many people are doing business in Gloucester who are not members of the Chamber of Commerce.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people many times, I'm quite interested in this, Mrs. Pett, because I'm on the board of directors of our local Chamber of Commerce.
Well, there you are. Now, you're already a member of the board of directors.
Up to my elbows.
Very
Right.
good. And how wonderful that we have such fresh and energetic interest.
And many times people will say who are in business, and if I question them as to why they're not a member of the Chamber, they'll say, well, what can the Chamber do for me? Well, actually, it's what you can do by being a member of the Chamber of Commerce for the city of Gloucester. We must all promote
Sort of
the city.
Kennedy-ish, isn't it?
Absolutely,
Maybe?
yes, that's right. I didn't intentionally do
Yes,
it that
of course
way.
not.
But,
No, I couldn't help
happened.
but realize that I mean, fundamentally, philosophically, that's what
right.
you're trying to say.
what
Yes.
we can do in turn for our city is
Yes.
for all of our mutual benefits.
And is there anything about going on currently within the chamber that you'd like to perhaps mention? Because feel free to. I mean, I'm perfectly willing that we use any time tonight, as long as on behalf of the good of all of us in Gloucester.
It is.
On the
it
Cape,
is.
I should say, because, you know, we do project a way out as far as Salem and beyond, as a matter of fact, and as far as Haverhill and beyond, and Raleigh and so on. And I'm hoping that we have a lot of listeners throughout.
Well, the Chamber, of course, actively works for new members all the time. And I really feel, I repeat this, that if you are doing business in Gloucester, that it's only fair that you should become a member of the Chamber, because it's amazing, Mrs. Pett, how busy that Chamber of Commerce office is during the day. Not just with our mailing programs, things that are sent out to the people who inquire about coming to Gloucester for business and recreational purposes, but also people who drive into Gloucester and automatically come to the Chamber for assistance regarding hotel
Or purchase of a property, perhaps.
Absolutely.
Or a business.
Or a business, or inquiring about the number and quality of our doctors or our hospitals. In other words, finding out about our city.
Yes.
Our Chamber of Commerce promotes you and me each and every day.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
It's a worthwhile thing.
Yes,
So.
and you are now a member of the board.
Yes, I am.
Good.
I'm on the board of directors, and Bud and I both are members of the city committee here in Gloucester. I won't name which political party, but
Well, no, I don't think that we're
not
going to go into
necessary.
politics.
No, but,
feel free to come back at any time, by the way, to talk about politics, because
now
we'll
get us wound up.
Well, at any time. I mean, just make a date with us, and we'll be glad to let you have the time, because there again, it's all for the good of all of us. And the more opinions, the more shades of opinion, the better.
That's right.
And going on to the trustees and your involvement with the trustees of the Cape Ann Symphony, is there, are you at all aware of how well the books are going, for example?
Yes, they are going very well. I feel that there has been fine reception amongst our visitors here and amongst the people on the books, and we hope very shortly we're going to place a reorder for more of them.
Fine. Now, I know that you are also doing something at Good Harbor Beach Inn, as a matter of fact, aren't you?
Yes, I have a place out there. Ralph is interested in the motel part of the business, and I am interested in the food profession, and there was a coffee shop there, so that's been renamed Whit's Wharf. So now there are two places, Whit's End and Whit's Wharf, and the place at Good Harbor is open only on weekends now until school closes, and the summer really kicks off to a good start. Then it'll be open 7 days a week.
You mean Whit's Wharf will
Whit's
be?
Wharf.
For those who are just in the city who come to use
The
the Good
beach
Harbor
public,
Beach, I see.
surely.
In
Anyone
other
at the
words,
beach.
Whit's Wharf is not necessarily only for the those who stay at the motel.
No, they're for
Well, this is something I'd like to get across to our listeners. We're going to say it again to them, that Whit's Wharf at the farthest end of Good Harbor Beach, right at the Good Harbor Beach Inn, is going to be a public coffee
That's correct.
counter. Is that so? Or
That
what
is
will you
correct.
call it? I mean, of course you're calling it Whit's
It's-
Wharf.
It's open to the public and to those visitors on the beach itself. Anyone coming down there, excuse me, will be most welcome at the coffee shop.
And what will you be having there for their benefit?
Well, there are soft drinks and ice cream and sandwiches and hot dogs. It's a takeout. However, attached to it is a deck or a wharf where you may sit and get out of the sun and while you enjoy your meal.
And you will serve them a meal.
Yes, your meal,
excuse me.
what you get at the takeout window.
Oh,
the
just the
sandwiches and
takeout.
coffee
I
and
see.
the drinks.
Yes, the lunch.
It's a light lunch
Yes,
event.
a lunch or brunch. Well, that's very exciting. I mean, to think that we're going to have it so organized. I mean, and not just. I mean, we can even take, as you say, shake the sand off of our feet and relax while
Yes.
we're nibbling.
Well, one of my customers kidded me because I was working with a company that owned 12 outlets, and I left a chain organization and opened one store, and in less than a year I have two stores, so I've been accused of starting the fastest growing chain in the East.
Well, may I say, may it grow. And I think with your energy and interest on the Cape, I would be a bit surprised you'll find another spot somewhere to extend Whit's End. Mr. Emerson, I saw a sparkle in your eye a moment ago, that something that had come to your mind that I hadn't quite elicited. Now, what is it?
Well, I think you did it very well, Mrs. Pett, because I wanted to be sure that Bud spoke about the Whit's End
Oh,
and
was
Whit's
that it?
Wharf
Oh.
complex, the fastest growing chain in the East, 100% in 1 year. But you see what I do at my inn, Mrs. Pett. My guests who stay with me receive a complimentary continental breakfast when they're staying at the inn. That's until 10 o'clock in the morning. Then Bud moves his crew in, and it takes over as Whit's Wharf, yet my guests can patronize the coffee shop as well.
Oh, I get. In other words, this public wharf or takeout does not start operating until after your
That's right.
patrons have had their continental breakfast. Well, that's wonderful. I'm just trying to think of what else I might have. Something about now. Where do you live at the present time?
Well, right now I have...
That's Mr. Whitney. I'm
Yes.
asking. Yeah.
Well, right now I'm living at my cousin's quarters at Good Harbor Beach. That's where I'm making my home in the summer. I've rented my own house on Rocky Neck.
You've rented it out.
I've rented it out.
You have a home on Rocky
I
Neck,
have my own home on Rocky Neck, which is connected to the store itself.
and you've already
I've-
rented it for the summer.
I've rented that
You've
for the summer.
sublet it for the summer.
Sublet it.
I see.
For the summer.
And you're staying right
I'm
there
staying at Good Harbor.
at Good Harbor so that you can oversee the growing of the wharf.
That's right.
Whit's Wharf.
That's right. My only concern is that I retire about midnight and I get up at 6:30, so I don't enjoy actually too much of the beach itself. But it is, Ralph has very fine quarters over there, so I commute every day.
Yes, and you oversee Whit's End and Whit's
Whit's
Wharf.
Wharf, that's right.
Well, I'm overseeing the clock ahead of me, and I have just about 20 seconds or so. What may I have you tell us, Mr. Emerson?
Well, it works out very well, Mrs. Pett. You see, Bud has the home on Rocky Neck for the winter. I mooch on him when I'm here in the wintertime, and so it works out that he mooches on me in the summertime.
Oh, I see.
And we don't see much of one another during the summer months because the three businesses really keep us very busy, but very happy.
And both of you have kept me very busy and very happy tonight. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very
Mrs.
much.
Pett. It's been a pleasure to be with you and your audience.
WVCA has brought you Faye Pett Interviews. Tune in again next Monday evening at 7:30 for another program in this series. WVCA in Gloucester, Massachusetts is now ending its broadcast day. WVCA is operating on an assigned carrier frequency of 104.9 megacycles with an authorized effective radiated power of 1,200 watts by authority of the Federal Communications Commission. WVCA's transmitter, studios, and offices are located in the Douglas Jordan Building at the corner of Main and Duncan Streets in Gloucester, Massachusetts. WVCA will resume broadcasting tomorrow afternoon at 2:45 p.m. Until then, this is Tom Todisco bidding you a pleasant good evening.